Yeah, it's too long on him.
Okay, now look at me and say, do it.
Or you think it's working out okay, Jack?
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. I'm super excited today to unbox what I have for you guys. This is going to be part 3 of my Kylo Ren cosplay costume series, in which we unbox the costume itself. This puppy just arrived here today on June 2nd from EZCosplay, that is based in China. So I've never ordered anything from them before. If you go back and watch some of the part 1 video about the sourcing of the costume and everything, we talk a little bit about the website and explore it a little bit. I've never ordered anything from here, so I'm quite nervous to see what this looks like, but I have high hopes. It looks as good as it is advertised on the website. So without further ado, let's get into the unboxing of the Kylo Ren, The Rise of Skywalker costume by EZCosplay. Let's go. Got the scissors here. Quite a bit more cutting. Okay, I'm gonna move to the floor for this. Man, they really stuffed a lot into this tiny box. Oh my gosh. I did order mine with the boots. I didn't want to toy around with trying to get boots that looked similar. We'll get to these in a little bit. Anything else is in there? Okay, set that aside. Oh, this is really nice. It's like a Ziploc bag. Be careful pulling everything out. Okay, so, oh my gosh. This is nicer than what I even expected. Okay, so this is the outer tunic. So this goes over top of the long sleeve base shirt that has the textured sleeves. Now on the website, if you go and look either on my part 1 video or go to the website yourself and look at the product, the pattern on the outer tunic looks like it has white stitching all over it, but that is not there at all on the actual product itself now that I'm holding it. So I really like that. Now this doesn't have any bottom to top or top to bottom lines in it. It just has horizontal lines. So I don't remember off the top of my head if that's what Kylo's outfit looks like in episode 9, but I'm pretty sure this, even if it's not completely accurate, this looks really close. And I was worried, if anything, about it being too small. I'd rather it be slightly big rather than too small, because I could fit into it if it's a little bit big. Okay, so that's the tunic. We're gonna lay that to the side. These appear to be oh, this is the belt, I think. Man, everything is in a little Ziploc bag. This is, okay, there's one glove, 2 gloves. Is there actually, I mean, it's not the nicest leather or anything. I'm sure it's not real leather, but it's not the nicest leather, but it'll get the job done for sure. And the belt. Okay, so I think in the movie, I could be wrong, it could look perfectly fine once I get it on actually, but this looks like it would be a little bit short in length from like top to bottom of the belt, but it looks like it's fairly proportionate when you lay it on the tunic. Here is the undershirt. This is like not just lightweight thin pieces of fabric. This is really, it's got some heftiness, some weight to it. Okay, now this looks a little bit short, is in the shirt. But it's probably okay because I have a really short torso anyway. So it's probably not going to be that big a deal. If it turns out that it is a little bit short, all I have to do is, in the part 2 video that just got posted a few days ago, all I have to do is just wear that black shirt underneath and it'll be fine. And also the tunic is a lot longer than this is, so that's going to cover the bottom of this up anyway if it is indeed a little bit too short. So I'm not worried about that at all. And the textured sleeves, those layered sleeves, that looks really nice. Yeah, this appears to be very well made. I'm very happy with this so far. It's got some wrinkles in it, but I mean that's to be expected when it's all folded up for shipping purposes. But I'm just blown away by like how much layering there is in each piece. It's not just like a super thin t-shirt. that you get sometimes. This is really amazing. I'm so excited. This looks like the pants. Okay, the pants are probably what worries me the most because my legs are abnormally long. I'm not kidding. I'm about 6'1", maybe a little bit shorter than 6'1". I'm either a little bit shorter than 6'1" or a little bit shorter than 6'2". I can never remember. But a majority of my height comes from my legs. And I'm not very skinny, so I am skinny. So it's very hard to find pants or jeans specifically that fit me in the waist, but yet are long enough. So if these turn out that they either don't fit around my waist or are not long enough, we'll figure something out for the pants. The pants is probably the thing that is paid the least attention to out of the whole costume. But these do look very nice. I've heard from many different people that in episode 9 his pants look like they're almost a leathery pants. So these fit that perfectly. So we'll be trying this on soon. But I think the only thing left in that main bag is the cape, which is probably my favorite part of the costume itself. Hopefully this cape is really nice. It looks really nice. It looks as if it's the same material that the pants are. So I'm gonna stop for a second and raise the camera so I don't have to hunch over with this thing because it is a piece of art that looks to be very, very cool. Okay, we're back. So the only thing left in that main bag, I'm pretty sure, unless something falls out when I pick this up, is the cape. And this thing looks fantastic. Okay, so that's the bottom. So right off the bat, this thing looks very cool. I have a bit of an issue. First glance though, there's no hood. Hopefully the hood is in that last bag there, but there should be a hood with this. But the cape itself looks very textured. It looks like it's been more textured than the pants at least, which is very cool. I'll grab this. That cape has some weight to it. Okay, now that looks very cool. It's perfect length, so it's just right above the floor. It's not dragging on the floor. It's almost touching the floor. This thing is very cool. It's not lightweight or anything. It has some weight to it. Looks very cool. All right, let's see if that hood is in there. It better be. So, have a small problem. The cape does not have the hood that was advertised in the product listing on EZCosplay. So I've already sent them an email describing the problem, and hopefully they will respond to me and be able to send me the correct cape, and I'll send them back the incorrect cape. So I've emailed them a few times throughout the shipping process, and they've always got back to me very quickly in under 24 hours. So hopefully they will respond to me very quickly yet again and be able to work this problem out successfully. So that is the hope. If they are not compliant or if they don't answer me, I have some ideas about how we can modify the costume itself or the cape itself to include a hood and make a hood of our own. My grandma is a wonder with the sewing machine, so she should be able to help me out with that if EZCosplay refuses to help. With that being said, we'll pick this back up within a day or two when I know what the plan is going to be. So I'll see you guys then. Okay, there's been a ton of nonsense with getting the cape figured out, but basically right now I'm gluing down some Velcro with some contact adhesive that I got from Myers. This is the Aleene's brand. I'm pretty sure this is a brand of tacky glue that you can buy, but it's fabric adhesion glue, so basically just contact adhesive. But we're doing that to glue down some Velcro pieces both on the inner tunic piece and then on the inside of the cape to get that to stabilize the cape a little bit. These Velcro pieces that we're gluing down are basically just, they're going to take most of the weight of the cape and it's also going to act as a stabilizer to keep the cape from swinging around if I'm very active with a lightsaber or something. So yeah, that's what they're going to do, and I'm going to show you how I've done the first two on the tunic, and I've done one on the cape now. I'm going to show you the process of how I'm gluing it down, the second one on the cape, so that's documented for you guys. So let's do it. Okay, so basically all I'm doing is peeling off this plastic sealant piece off of the back of the Velcro, because the Velcro pieces come with their own sticky substance on the back to help it stick to things. But being that this fabric is very pliable and moves around a lot, I'm not trusting just the stickiness that comes with the Velcro. So what we're doing is just peeling that plastic piece off, and we lay the piece down, get the contact adhesive. Now this stuff is very tacky. It takes a few seconds to get it to kind of separate once you get the lid off, but it seems I've got it there. And basically I'm just doing a perimeter spread of this around the back side of the Velcro piece. I'm not going at the very edge of the piece, because then once it presses down, if I spread this stuff around at the very edge, then it would seep outward on the outside of where this is placed. So I go about a ½ inch in and go a perimeter around, and then do some swirls in the middle to kind of get even coverage, and then I'm going to press it down and lay the brick on top of it to give it some weight overnight as it's drying. So here we go. Alright, I got everything I want on there. I gotta get it to separate again. Difficult part. I didn't think about recording in here. That noise you guys probably can hear in the background is our fish tank over there. We have some goldfish, and that's just the filter that's running. Okay, so now we're gonna pick it up. We got the stuff on, and I'm not sure if you can see it in the video, but there's this center seam line right here. So this piece is about maybe a ½ inch or a centimeter away from that center seam line, so we're going to eyeball it and just get these lined up. That's pretty good. Now we're just going to use our fingers to press everything down and make sure all of that contact adhesive is just evenly spread out underneath. So that's the purpose of just pressing it with your fingers like this. So we just want to get, if you just let it go, that natural stickiness that's on the back of the Velcro will hold it down, but we want to press it down all around the piece for a few minutes. Not a few minutes, just really maybe a minute or so of just pressing down like this to get that contact adhesive to really spread around and cover a majority of this piece, so we have the best adhesion that we can get. So that's pretty firm in there. It's nearly lined up perfectly. If these things don't perfectly line up between this piece that's on the tunic and this piece that's on the cape, that's fine, but a majority of it is going to line up and attach, and that's what we want. So that's pressed in to my liking, and we're going to sit this on top, and that's going to dry overnight. Hey, what's up guys? So I just want to throw in this clip real quick to explain a few things. So before I do that real quick, just to address this, I was never, nor am I currently, a Marine in the United States Marine Corps. This is actually my grandpa's shirt that he gave to me a while back, and I just wear it in support of him and all the current and past servicemen and women. I feel like I should tell people that. I just wanted to explain real quick, because the next part of the video is brings up something that I don't have an explanation for really on recording, but the cape that I got was not the correct cape. Really, the entire costume wasn't really the correct costume, but the cape specifically is not the same style as the cape that's in episode 9. So what I mean by that is that the way the neck
is shaped on the cape. It has a solid neckline that comes to 2 jagged points, and on the episode 9 cape there's not really any of those points. It just comes up the side and then curves around the back of his neck. So with my cape having a solid neckline that comes to 2 jagged points here around your collarbone, I needed some way of attaching that to each other so that it wouldn't just be flapping around. So my original idea was to Velcro the pieces right here, right underneath the cape, around my collarbone, and that was my original idea. But I decided that if I'm whipping around with a lightsaber and rolling my shoulders a lot, that's probably not going to work the best to hold the cape in place, because the Velcro could easily come undone or come unattached if I'm whipping around and really moving my shoulders a lot. So what I decided to do was I added a chain, which kind of makes the whole costume a hybrid, or the cape at least, a hybrid of Kylo Ren and Count Dooku and Darth Vader, as Count Dooku and Vader both have chains on their capes. But what I ended up doing was I used that...
Up, brothers? There's a clinker.
There's a clanker in the background. That's our dog, Scarlet. What I ended up doing was using that contact adhesion glue to attach 2 carabiner clips on the inside of the cape, and then I just used those to attach a piece of black chain. So that is what anchors the cape together in the very front, and then the Velcro pieces are just underneath the top of the cape in the back. They really anchor the cape in place and hold up all of the weight of the cape, but the chain in the front gives me the fact that the cape isn't actually tied down to the costume anywhere in the front. It's just attached to each other. It's attached to each corner of the cape in the front. That means it gives me full mobility of my shoulders. I can do shoulder rolls and everything, and it will just kind of slide backward, but it doesn't come attached or anything. So that is the point of the chain being there. It kind of sucks because it's not screen accurate to what it should be, but I like the way it looks. I think it looks pretty cool. So with that being said, let's get back to the video.
This is going to be quite a long video now, but you saw we glued down the Velcro pieces and some additional strap pieces basically to hold this chain in place. It all works good and it looks very good the way it is. It's not completely screen accurate, but that's because the company actually shipped me the wrong cape. So we're gonna make do with what we have, and I think it looks pretty cool anyway. It's kind of a hybrid of Count Dooku / Vader / Kylo Ren. So what we're gonna do now is add on some more Velcro pieces, because I just want some more insurance, if you will, to make sure that the cape and everything is very secure and going to hold perfectly in place when I'm whipping around doing all these lightsaber things. So that's going to serve the purpose of the additional Velcro.
What do I get, my own interview?
So this is my brother Jake. He's going to be helping me. Well, Jake's not going to do any helping with the Velcro. I'm going to do that by myself. What Jake is going to help with are these pieces, the pieces that hold the chain in place. So it's these little things right here. And I need help with that because they basically have to go down on 2 different sides. And I need somebody to clamp these little clamps on while I get the glue in place and hold the fabric in place. Jake is going to clamp them down so that they hold in place and dry where they're supposed to. The cat has entered. This is Goldie. She likes to bother us, everything we do. probably put a little bit extra glue on these two outer pieces, and that is because on these first two pieces that I've done previously, I didn't put enough glue. There's probably enough glue on it to hold it in. It's not coming off very easily, but it's some of these outer edges of these pieces, both on here and then on the cape, are you can kind of peel them up on the edges, and that's not because the glue is failing, it's just because there's not glue all the way on the edge. So I put it pretty close to the edge on these pieces, and then with the process of pushing it in, and then with pop cans laying on it, providing some weight, it will hopefully evenly spread the glue all the way out to all the edges, and it'll hold this perfectly in place. So you can see I had the pop on this one a minute ago, and it actually squished some out the edge, so I wiped it up a little bit, and it's a little bit of not what you'd want on the finished product of this, but 90% of the time the cape is going to be covering the whole back of this, so you're not going to see it at all. So I can live with it. It's not a big deal. We're going to try to get some additional glue onto the corners of these pieces, just so that it's all in place and held tightly very well, and then we'll lay pop cans over all of it. And yeah, that should be good for this. Okay, so I'm trying not to ramble on here because this video is going to be quite the doozy. But anyway, just explain a little bit what went on with the cape. So the cape is not really it's not a screen accurate Episode 9 Kylo Ren cape. It's actually a Last Jedi cape. If you recall, he wears the cape for a few scenes in The Last Jedi. So what's different about The Last Jedi cape is that it actually has a curve in the neck that hopefully you can see. You can definitely see it when I'm wearing it, but it has this, it goes up straight from the floor all the way up to the shoulders, but then on each side, and then it has a curve where this neckline would be, that basically would go around the back of your neck. In The Rise of Skywalker, Episode 9, it doesn't have that distinct curvature of the neckline or neck seam, whatever you call it. It just kind of goes straight up from the floor and goes around the back of his neck very seamlessly without any sharp points right here that create a neckline. Also, there was no hood on it, which that's a big part of the difference between the cape in Episode 8 and Episode 9. There's a hood attached. So when it shipped and got here and there's no hood, I know, okay, something is wrong. But luckily, my grandma is an excellent seamstress, and I was able to purchase some pretty good priced faux leather from Joann Fabrics. So it's just black faux leather from Joann Fabrics, and it's very thin, which made it a lot easier for my grandma to sew. But basically what we did was we cut out the towel that we used to trace out a hood pattern and figure out how it was going to sew together, but we used that towel as an outline and cut out the faux leather, and then she sewed it together at the top, so you can see this seam line, to make the top of the hood and make it go over your head like a hood should. And then, so that was the first step of the hood, and then she went ahead and sewed it to the outside edge of the cape. So she sewed it all the way around the neckline and then about 4 inches down the side of the cape, along the edge of the cape, to give it that look of when Kylo is wearing the cape in Episode 9, you can see the hood kind of draping over the front of his shoulders, or attaching to the cape at the front of his shoulders. So that's what makes that look. But then also, if you look up certain pictures of Kylo with the cape / hood in Episode 9, you can see these pleats in it, and on the front shoulders where the hood attaches. So when we just sewed, or when my grandma just sewed in the hood without any pleats in it, it looked good, but it didn't look as good as it could be, or as good as it does now. So what we did was, I don't know if you can tell or not, but this is sewn in right here. We basically folded it over So this is what the inside of the faux leather looks like, and then this is what the outside of it looks like. And this is one of the corners of the neckline. So basically what we did was she had sewn the faux leather down about 4 inches. So about half of that length, about 2 inches, we folded it back over and then sewed it back down right there with it folded over, and then sewed. So then there's a pleat on that side now. If you fold it over and sew it down, now there's a fixed pleat in place that's not going to go anywhere. And then we sewed the pleat a good 4, maybe 5 inches down the back of the hood. So now when you put it on, no matter what you do, I mean, unless you tear it with your hands or unless somebody else pulls at it really hard, that pleat is not coming out. So I can swing around and do all the crazy stuff I want, and those pleats will stay in place on the front side of my shoulder as the hood drapes around to my back. So that's very important, and I'm very thankful that she's my grandma and knows how to do that stuff and can help me out with that. So I'm very happy with the cape. It took some DIYing per se to get it the way that I wanted it and to get it to look like an episode 9 Kylo Ren cape, but it looks really good now. It's the end of June here in Ohio, and it's really freaking hot outside. So I just was testing out the cape with all of the Velcro and the carabiners and the chain with the top part of the costume. So the undershirt with the layered sleeves and then the tunic. So just to get an idea of how much mobility I had in the upper part of the costume. So now we're going to try on the upper body pieces with the cape to see what mobility we have with the arms. Out, I can move around like this. These things don't appear, they don't sound like they're tearing. This isn't screen accurate either because there's no chain on his in the movie, but because they sent me the wrong thing, it works. This is going to represent the lightsaber that I'm going to have eventually. So while the costume isn't completely screen accurate either, my lightsaber won't be, at least the first one I'm getting. So I ordered a double-bladed lightsaber from Ultra Sabers because during quarantine I picked up the hobby of twirling a staff, which I'm using a broomstick right now, but I'm going to have lightsabers eventually. So it's going to be a hybrid Kylo Ren Episode 9. Got the hood in the back. So I get some good mobility out of it. I can move my arms out in front and the cape will just go to the side without wanting to pull off on Velcro or on these clips that are holding on the chain. You can go out like that and it's not going to tear anything. And the way that my grandma sewed the hood in, it will stay with the pleats right there. Look good, Jake?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll have to see. Oop, I hit the camera. We'll have to see when the actual lightsaber gets here, but with this, I can do everything.
So that is going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of this thing. I know it has been a long video. Thank you for bearing with me in the wait time for this video. It's been a couple weeks now, but I was honestly a bit frazzled when I got the costume and I realized it was not what I was expecting to get. So it took a little bit for me to figure out exactly what I was going to do, but now that it's done, at least the cape is done, I'm very happy with how it's turned out, how it's all come together, really. And I think it's going to look so damn cool when the helmet gets here, so I'm so excited for that. The helmet should be getting here within another week or two, so I'm so excited. My brother's really excited about that too. Costume or not, that thing is just going to be cool to have and have as a shelf piece, but I'm going to be trooping in this thing, so it's going to be cool. Please do me a favor, please smash that like button. Go leave a comment down below. Please subscribe to the channel, and wherever you guys are in the world, whatever you're doing, whatever you find yourself doing today, tomorrow, whenever, have a great day, and I will see you guys next time.